Hey, Jose, how's it going?
Hi, Farhan. How you doing?
Good, good. I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. I think there's actually my headphones should not be. I'm hearing it through my speakers instead of my headphone. Give me one sec. See if I can fix this. I'm on a different computer actually today because I'm traveling. All right, Jose, can you speak one more time?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. Unfortunately, it's still coming through my head through the speaker. Give me one sec. Yeah. All right, let's try this. What about now?
Well, I can hear you.
Okay. Yep, I can hear you as well. I just wish it was coming through the speaker. I mean, coming through my headphones because I think you can hear yourself too when you speak, right?
And not really.
Oh, okay,
Well,
that works then. Um, I was thinking that there would be an echo maybe when you speak, you would hear yourself, but I
no.
guess not. So how's it going, Jose?
Well, I'm doing well, thank you. Um, I'm I'm back in my regular schedule to attend my clinical classes.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Did you
because
have any? Um, did you do anything cool today? Anything interesting?
um, something interesting? No, I think that that doesn't happen in real life. But what can I say? I have been talking with a woman with a huge experience by trading,
Mm-hmm.
trading stocks, and she's giving me some advice how to start some kind of business. It's not that I'm going to quit my current job, but at least I have a new idea, something that I might take a look, maybe try to
Mm-hmm.
take a look, and I try to test this if it works for me or
Jose,
if it
give me
doesn't.
one sec. I
Okay.
think there might be a problem with my speakers. All right, sorry about that, Jose. Can you repeat the very last part?
And well, that I was saying that I was talking with a woman that she has a great experience by
Jose, do you hear me?
trading. Yes, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
I'm so sorry about this. One sec.
Here.
All right, let's see. I think I am not able to hear you, unfortunately. Could you speak again, Jose?
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you see the green bar?
Hmm. All right. Um,
Can you hear me
something
now?
is no, I still can't hear you, unfortunately, Jose. There's something wrong with this
Oh my
these
God.
speakers. Let's see.
Your bell is ringing, I think.
Really sorry about this, Jose. I'm trying to figure out how it's not letting me work. I mean, it's supposed to be working fine. It was just a little while ago. Let me refresh this page, Jose. Give me one sec. I'll be right back. All right, Jose. I think I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me
I
now?
can hear you perfectly now. I can hear you perfectly. Yeah. Thank you so much for your patience. I'm so sorry about that. It was just
Ah,
being a
don't
big
worry.
problem here with the thing. So you're telling me, Jose, that you were speaking to a woman about some kind of a business.
Yeah, well, she has a great experience by trading. She's an
Mhm.
exporter and importer, and
Mhm.
she's given me some advice how
Mhm.
to what can I do and what I shouldn't do.
Mhm.
And well, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna quit my current job, but at least I have a chance, something that I can take a look, and I can figure it out if it works for me or if it doesn't.
Mhm.
So it's just another chance.
Absolutely. Just another opportunity, right?
Yes.
We are always looking for opportunities, young people, me included. I mean, the job that I'm working in right now has me traveling so much, and there's usually a lot of stress and a lot of, associated um, side effects, if you will, of the job. So, yeah, if good opportunities arise, then we should always go for them.
And you have to travel abroad or just in your country?
Just in the U.S. usually. We do some trips abroad, but I haven't been on a trip abroad yet. So there's been a good mix. I mean, we see both. The U.S. is a big enough country for us to have to be very busy just within this country. So as you can probably tell, I'm in a hotel room right now. I have lights in the back, and I mean, it's I'm in Michigan. Michigan is um, 1 hour ahead of you guys. So usually we have the same time, Lima and my city, but Michigan is 1 hour ahead. So right now it's 11 late.
So you're about to sleep, maybe?
After this class, I mean, it's okay because my clock is still uh, thinking of my normal scheduled time, so it's not that bad. Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We'll wait a little bit longer, Jose, but before we get started, since you're the only one here so far, let me ask you a question. So today's topic, we're going to be looking at the um, possessives, I guess, in English. And one of the things that we can use possessives for is to, describe things that we own, right? So, what about right now? Let's say wherever you are now in your room, describe a few things that are near you right now using possessives.
Well, I can use my computer with with its mouse, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, don't know what else, and the wall that has a mirror attached at the wall, and don't know what else. My my shoes are lying by there. Don't know exactly where by there. Uh,
The shoes are, those are my brother's shoes, for example, right?
okay, yeah, those are my brother's shoes
Uh-huh.
and my dog's belt. My dog
Dog's leash.
leash. Yeah, my
Yeah.
dog's leash.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay, leash. And what else? And here is something that used to belong to my sister. This is my my sister's drawer.
Uh, Maybe are you talking about like the chest of drawers, like the big it has maybe 4 or 5 drawers?
Yes.
Yeah, so we call that chest of drawers actually.
Okay,
Or you could just say chest, like furniture chest.
okay, my
Yeah.
sister's chest of drawers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but she doesn't live here any longer, so now I'm the owner.
Nice. That's awesome. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
We're five siblings. One sister,
Uh-huh.
she lives in US already, and one sister and four brothers.
Wow, that's awesome. And
She's yeah,
your,
yeah,
your
she's
sister's the
American.
oldest?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Is your sister the oldest?
Yeah, she's the oldest.
She's the eldest. Okay. That's awesome. And where does she live in the U.S.? I think you told me before, but I forgot.
She's in Florida. It's in Tampa, I think.
Tampa.
Tampa or something by there.
Very cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tampa's a nice city.
Yes, well, I've never been in US, and well, she's already American, and she works for the police, I think.
That's
She
awesome.
has, yeah, she has to do something with children. She arrests children. Don't know, well,
Oh,
she had to do
maybe
with
a
family.
juvenile, probably she works in the juvenile criminal justice system.
No, no, no. She's no. I was just kidding. No, she has
Oh,
to
okay.
do with family issues. She has to take care if the children is being in a good environment, if she has a good family, something like that. Has
Social
to do,
worker.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
usually
that's
those folks who work for, who work maybe for the government or maybe work for the city, like the municipal department, they go and they make sure that children, maybe children in the U.S., if their parents can't take care of them, uh, they are taken to foster homes, right? A foster home is a house that essentially a family takes kids and they raise the kids, um, and people who help those children, acclimate to a new family. Social workers, they work with divorced families, they work with children of divorced couples, and all sorts of different things like that. So
yeah. I think that she's doing that. Don't know if it's exactly a social work, but I really don't know very well what she does
that's
in there.
really cool, though. I mean, social work is very respectable. I mean, if that's what she does, that it's something that we need more social workers. People don't want to become social workers in the U.S.
Okay, so if I go to US, I might be a social worker. I might be.
Yeah, you have to have a good personality. You have to like people. You have to be very. You have to sacrifice a lot. I mean, social workers don't make a lot of money, but they do something that's so vital for society. You know?
Oh yeah. The only problem is that I don't have any patience with children.
Oh,
That
really?
that might be a little detail, a
Yeah,
little
that might be a
problem.
liability on your part. Exactly.
Yeah.
That might not be the best. In any case. Hey, Emmy, how's it going?
Yes, hello Farhan. Hello Jose.
Hello. I mean,
Why your sound is so low, Farhan?
Oh, I think maybe because I'm using a different computer. I'm traveling today, so I'm using different speakers, different computer.
Uh-huh.
Does it sound better now? I'm a little closer to
Mm,
the computer.
little,
A little bit better.
tiny little.
Yeah, I'm sorry about this. I was for the first maybe like 5 minutes, I wasn't able to hear Jose. I was just switching back and forth. This computer is not my normal computer, so
Uh-huh.
it's kind of a
It's
pain.
okay.
Yeah. If you guys can't hear me though, let me know. I'll refresh or something. Actually, I see what you're saying here. It's so low, right? The actual, even on my register, I'm getting it to be just two or three and not the full. All right, whatever. I'll try my best to be as close as possible to the screen. Maybe this will make it easier. Okay, guys. So I think we're the only two, or we're the only three that are going to be in the class, at least for the beginning. So let us begin the lesson. If you guys have questions, let me know and we can stop. But today's class, we are mainly talking about possessives, right? So, Emmy, when I first started talking to Jose, I asked him if he could describe a few things that were near him right now. So let's do the same with you. Could you describe a few things that are near you right now, using whatever, like I could say, this is my water, uh, those are my shoes, right? You can use possessives, or for example, those lights are the hotels, for example, right? You can use any, or those are the hotel's lights, right? You can use any of those examples or any of those types of possessives to describe a few things that are near you right now.
Okay. Mm. These are my chairs.
Okay.
This is the door room.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, um, this is my mobile.
This is your mobile, right? So those are good.
Yeah.
Those are great examples, right? So what do we usually do when we talk about possessives in English? In English, when we say, for example, if we want to say somebody's something, we use the apostrophe S, right? So John's house, Emmy's chairs, Jose's dog's leash, right? And this we can even combine them, right? So if you want to say like an animal, so Jose was talking about his dog, Jose's dog's leash, right? So you can combine more and more of these apostrophe S's. You can combine possession and line them up multiply, right? My car's roof, right? My mother's house's window, right? Or my mom's house's window. Uh, so that's apostrophe S is really the most common way that we make possession in English to say something belongs to someone, right? Now, when we use possessive nouns, right? Possessive nouns are used; they are placed before the noun that they modify. So, for example, um, this is the way that we say. I mean, apostrophe s in English means possessive noun. That's the formal way of saying it. If something ends in s, remember, if it's a name, then we retain the apostrophe s. If it's not a name, if it's, for example, a plural, then we just write an apostrophe. So if somebody's name is Chris, right? How would you say, Emmy, Chris's mobile? How would you say that? How would you write that actually? Chris's mobile.
Yes, with apostrophe S.
Yeah, it would be. Would it be with an apostrophe or an apostrophe s?
Yes, with no apostrophe S. The both.
Yeah, it would be an
Because
apostrophe s, right?
yes,
How come?
because it's singular.
Well, yeah, because Chris is a singular, right? Chris is one person. It doesn't matter if
Mm.
his last name ends if his name ends in s. Uh, However, if it's plural, so Jose, if it's for example the girl's shoes, how would we write that?
Um, the girl's shoes. How to type it?
Yeah, how would we write the girl's shoes? Would it
Uh,
be apostrophe s or would it be just apostrophe?
no, with a apostrophe s.
How come? If we're talking about more than one girl.
Oh, if there are more one girl, would be just with an apostrophe.
Fantastic,
The
right? Yes,
girls,
I should have made that clear. Yeah, because why?
because it's in plural.
Exactly, right? So you have more than one girl, girl's shoes, right? So it's just an apostrophe. So this apostrophe s example is what we call the possessive noun, right? It's very simple. We use it a lot in English. Um, we can also use possessive adjectives in English, right? And possessive adjectives are used, they are placed before the noun that they modify. So, for example, possessive adjectives are my, your, his, her, theirs, or their, I'm sorry, and then our, right? So, for example, my book, your car, his house, her bracelet, our company, uh, their um, aquarium, I don't know, their whatever, right? Their palace, right? So these possessive adjectives, they come before the noun, right? And the way we make them is very simple. Possessive adjective plus the noun. So, Emmy, give me an example of a possessive adjective, a sentence using a possessive adjective if you are talking to somebody else, if you're talking about something that belongs to somebody else.
Belong to somebody else.
Hmm.
Uh,
any possessive adjective that you can use to talk about something that belongs to somebody else. You can make a sentence, right?
Uh, uh, it's mm, uh, okay. This is no.
For example, let's say you're talking about Jose, right? You're talking about something that belongs to Jose. How do you make a sentence using a possessive adjective? Right. So what are possessive?
Adjective. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let us choose the adjective first.
Yeah, sure. So for Jose, what would it
Jose.
be? So actually, I mean, I think I didn't do a good
Jose.
job explaining it, right? Possessive adjectives, right? We have my, your, his, her, their, our, right? So
His dog.
yeah, exactly, right? So for Jose, if we want to describe something using a possessive adjective, we would use his, right? Because he's a male. And then we could say his dog, his, what else? It could be anything, right?
Yes. His
Yeah,
dog is nice.
his dog is nice, right? Fantastic. Uh, so Jose, how would you make a sentence using a possessive adjective if you're talking to a group of people directly? You are talking to a group of people directly. Which one would you use, first of all? Which possessive adjective?
Your?
Yeah, you'd use your, right? Because your you can use for just one person that you're talking to directly, or you can also use for more than one person that you're talking to directly, right? So what's a sentence you can make with your? You're talking to a group of people.
This is your fault, not mine.
This is your fault, not mine, right?
Nice.
You're talking to a large group of people, and you're saying this is your fault and not mine, right?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
shame on you.
Shame on you is not really possessive, right?
No, but could work with the
It would.
sentence.
It would definitely work with that sentence. Absolutely, it's all your fault. Shame on you, right? Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Howdy, how are you doing?
Good, good, good. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
How have you been?
Doing the same things, working hard and attending class, but the classes are definitely late at night, so not always I can come attend your class.
Sounds good. Welcome to class. We're just talking about
Thank you.
possession. We're talking about possessives, Mark. So how would you use, so with possessive adjectives, for example, possessive adjectives include my, your, his, her, our, their, right? These possessive adjectives, they come before a noun. So let's say you're talking about, Emmy, right? Which possessive adjective would you use for Emmy if you want to describe something that she owns?
Her.
Her, right? So just make a sentence with her, anything you want.
Her nice is sorry. Her hair is nice.
Her hair is nice, right? Fantastic. Yeah, her hair is nice. So you can use adjectives, possessive adjectives, to talk about possession, and they come before the noun, right? So her, and then hair is the noun. So when we look at the other case is possessive pronouns, right? And possessive pronouns are used after the noun, right? And there are several examples. So with possessive pronouns, we see, let me write these down. We see, for example, mine, yours, his, hers, theirs, ours, right? So possessive pronouns, mine, yours, his, hers, theirs, ours. What's an example of possessive pronouns in action? Let's use possessive pronouns to make a sentence using ours, Jose.
Maybe this class is ours.
This class is ours, right? Fantastic. So What is the difference again, Mark, between where we see the possessive pronoun in the sentence versus where we see the possessive adjective in the sentence? What's the difference?
The possessive pronouns came after a noun.
And with the adjectives?
Before a noun.
Fantastic. That's probably the most important part of the lesson today. That possessive pronouns come after the nouns, possessive adjectives come before, right?
Yeah.
So, Mark, give me an example using the possessive pronoun mine.
Okay. My house is more beautiful than yours.
Well, yeah, yours is great. So yours is a possessive pronoun. If you wanted to use mine, how could you use mine in that in the same sentence?
You are better than than mine. After a noun. Okay, this car is mine.
This car is mine, or
this car is mine.
This car is mine, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic, right? This car is mine, right? And you can, instead of saying this is my car, this car is mine, right? This is my car. My is the adjective, possessive adjective, and this car is mine. Mine is the possessive pronoun. They're both saying the same thing, right? So, what if you were to say, for example, how would we say? Okay, so what I was thinking of, Mark, was if you were talking about somebody's house, like your house is, or my house is not as beautiful as yours, right? That's a possessive adjective and a possessive pronoun, both in the same sentence. My house is not as beautiful as yours, right? House is still the noun. We have my is the possessive adjective before, and we have yours that's the possessive pronoun after. So you're describing, you're comparing your house to his house, right? Or this, whoever this other person is. My house is not as beautiful as yours, right? So that's how these sentences can get a little bit more advanced. Any questions about that so far, guys? When we look at possessive pronouns versus adjectives, the difference between the two. Yeah.
If we use her or his in pronouns, for example, this dog is his or her. I think we use s. Yes, s at the end, right?
For hers, yes, it has the s at the end, right?
And the s and his. Sorry.
Yeah, his is the same. Both possessive pronoun and possessive adjective, it's spelled the same, H-I-S.
So, for example, we say, this dog is Jose. No, his dog. No, his dog. How can I use it at the sentence?
If you want
pronouns.
If you want to use a pronoun, this dog is his. Right?
Or her, his or her.
This dog is his, or this dog is hers. Right? Because the possessive pronouns, the ones I wrote down, possessive pronouns are mine, yours, his, hers, theirs, and ours. Right? So they all have an S at the end except for mine. Right?
Okay.
So, for example, you can say this is his dog. This dog is his, right? This is her dog. This dog is hers. Right? Depends on the place before versus after the noun. Yeah, that's really the most important thing in this entire lesson. So, do you guys have any questions about that so far?
Okay, who's Farhan? Is it also possessive? Possessive pronouns.
Wait, what is? Whose? Whose is not a pronoun, right? Whose is, well, it's not a possessive pronoun because we're possessive pronouns, they're just these that we see here. So
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not a pronoun. It's not a possessive pronoun. I'm actually
Okay.
not sure what whose is, honestly. I think it's probably another designation, some special term that we don't know about. But whose we use mostly sometimes in questions, right? So whose dog is this? This is Jose's dog, right? This is his dog, or this dog is
Okay.
his, right? Um, yeah, so that's mainly how we see who's a lot more. But is everyone else okay with this example or with these examples? We're good?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
You guys can hear me, right? Mark and Jose, you guys can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Alrighty,
Yeah.
fantastic, guys. Alright, fantastic. What I'm going to do now is, guys, I'm going to paste the article here. And today's article is actually very, very interesting for me. It is the first time a female-produced and acted film in Saudi Arabia is. I believe this is the first time a female film has been produced in Saudi Arabia, and it is also that country's first nomination or first entry to the Academy Awards, right? Which we all know is a very prestigious film festival in the United States, probably the most prestigious in the world, right? So the international category of uh, the Academy Awards, this is the first nomination from Saudi Arabia. So if you guys can open the article, what I'm going to do is I'm going to also screen share. Hopefully this works on this computer, and we will get started. So Wajda, Saudi Arabia's first female film, is country's Oscar entry, right? Haifa al-Mansour's Wajda, the first ever film from a Saudi Arabian woman, is to be the country's official nomination for the 2014 Oscars. Right? So it was a film that seemed guaranteed to enrage its homeland. The first feature from a Saudi Arabian woman director, which painted the kingdom as an oppressive society in which women are second-class citizens and girls are forbidden to laugh in public. And yet, Wajda, the critically acclaimed drama from Haifa al-Mansour, has been selected as Saudi Arabia's official nomination for the Best Foreign Film Oscar. We are proud of the film as an authentic representation of our country and culture, and are pleased to see the themes of the film resonate with audiences well beyond our borders, said Sultan al-Bazieh, the head of the Saudi nominating committee. It is the first time the nation has selected a film to compete for the Academy Awards. Set in the homes and madrasas of Riyadh. So madrasa is a religious school, right? Set in the homes and madrasas of Riyadh. Riyadh is the capital of Saudi Arabia. Wajda charts the fortunes of a 10-year-old girl who enters a Quran reading competition in order to raise money to buy a bicycle. So the Quran is the holy book for Muslims. So it's about a girl who enters a competition to read this book in order to raise money for a bicycle. Her teacher is scandalized, and her mother is fearful. You won't be able to have children if you ride a bike, the girl is informed. Writer-director Al-Mansour has said that she intended the film to be an inspiration to the women of Saudi Arabia, but she admitted that shooting the picture was a challenging experience. In more conservative neighborhoods, she was forced to call the shots from inside a van for fear of sparking protests. It's exciting to be a part of Saudi Arabia right now, she told The Guardian in July. It's a moving society, and for me, just to be a part of it is all right, either in a van or outside the van. The most important thing is to make an authentic film. Backed by European money, Wajda opened to rave reviews in the UK in July and is released in selected US cinemas this Friday. The 85th Academy Awards take place on March 2nd, 2014. So we are looking at, guys, a very interesting film, right? So this film comes from a very conservative society, right? Saudi Arabia is known to be an extremely conservative society where it actually is the only country in the world that women are not allowed to drive in yet, right? In some areas, maybe in the compounds, women can drive, but they're not allowed to drive openly in the highways or in the streets or something, for example. So, you know, there are a lot of these barriers, I guess, to what women can achieve, especially in the sense of making a film, making something that is produced for the outside world, right? So, what do you guys think about this? Do you guys think this is a really a new moment for the women of Saudi Arabia? Is it a groundbreaking moment? What do you guys think? Jose, let's start with you.
Well, I think that it's very interesting to have this kind of movie. Don't understand very well what it's about, the plot. I just understand that this movie will show the reality, what's going on in Saudi Arabia, how to say, Saudi Arabia?
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, but it's interesting to have this kind of movie in this society, and well, let's try to find out how will be this music and the effect that it will have in this society.
Absolutely. And just to explain the plot to you, Jose, the plot is really that there's a young 10-year-old girl, right? The girl doesn't have enough money to buy a bicycle. So she decides to enroll in a competition in Muslim countries. Because Muslims we recite our holy book in there's a special way to recite the holy book. We don't, for example, Christians they might just read the Bible. There's really no way to recite the Bible. Maybe people sing hymns or whatever, but they don't really recite the Bible, right? Well, in Islam it's different. Muslims actually recite their holy book, and so sometimes there are competitions. The best reciter, even among children, right? The best child, the child who can recite the holy book the most beautifully, maybe we'll get money or we'll get a prize or something from the school, from the government, whatever. It's very common. So this girl enters this competition this recitation competition to recite the holy book because she wants a bike. But people in her society tell her, you shouldn't ride a bike. This is not, girls don't ride bikes. If you ride a bike, you're not going to have kids. I mean, so it's a very, it's putting the traditional up against the modern, or not even modern. I mean, the girl just wants to be free. It's putting old against young, old versus new. Maybe traditional versus modern, all those kinds of things. And it's special because it's the first movie from this country that is getting nominated for the Academy Award. Many other countries have tried to get Academy Award nominations for their films, but they have not been successful. So, Mark, what do you think about this film? I mean, just after reading this article, what do you think what's your reaction to this film, I should say?
Wow, that is amazing that women are still treated like that way. You said that in South Arabia, the women are supposed to not drive. They cannot drive. They're not allowed to drive. I think it is amazing for me, because I come from a country, and our president is a woman.
Yeah.
And so that is incredible, and I think this kind of movie definitely must be shown to everyone that can see, because I think it's really important.
Yeah.
To treat an issue like that. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about driving is it's actually something that comes up a lot when non-Saudi people talk about Saudi society. They say, for example, oh, women can't drive there, women can't whatever. And from a lot of Saudi people that I talk to, women actually they don't see driving as being that important. that important a concept of their identity or of their independence, right?
Okay, Farhan.
For me, the reason I mentioned it was just more as an in terms of.
Hello.
Cannot hear you, Farhan.
It's
No,
Yeah,
Farhan,
can you
right?
guys hear me?
Connection.
you're frozen.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on one sec. Ay, ay, ay. One sec, guys. One sec. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys can hear me. Oh, fantastic. Sorry about that, guys. This internet at the hotel is very weak sometimes. So I'm sorry. What I was saying was, in terms of independence, maybe they don't care as much, right? Saudi Arabian women, maybe they don't care so much about driving, but we do see that maybe compared to other societies, their movement is restricted a little bit, right? So, for example, they need permission from their fathers if they want to go to another country or from their husbands, things like that. It's just part of their culture, right?
Yeah.
So, uh, I have met Saudi people who were very angry at me for saying, why did you start the conversation by saying women can't drive? It's not fair. Honestly, it's not fair.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh my God. Don't mess Arabians.
Hold on, guys. Can you guys hear me now?
Frozen again. Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. Hello?
His
Can you guys hear
picture
me?
is freezing.
Oh, sorry about that.
You
Oh my
froze.
God. Yeah. I can hear you guys now. I'm still freezing. Oh my God.
Arabian curve.
One sec. What is that?
Yes. Now it's okay.
It's good now? All right,
Yes.
whatever then. Okay, sweet. So, Emmy, what's your reaction to this?
Actually, I didn't watch the video. And this
How
is the
come?
first time I knew about that video or that movie.
Uh-huh.
But yes, in general, Farhan, if I want to explain to you why the women cannot drive, will be take weeks for understand the whole idea of that. But you must know that uh, the women here uh, have a lot of money. Okay, they have their own lots of money from their parents, from their works, because yes, they are working here and their salaries are so high salaries. So this is one information. Another information that there is a lots of drivers here are special drivers are come from maybe India, from Indonesia.
Bangladesh.
Yes, Bangladesh.
Yeah,
Yes,
my
they,
people.
yes, just for driving, for a
Yeah,
special driver for the whole family, or even sometimes for the just the ladies to go anywhere. So
mashallah,
they
mashallah.
have their own cars with their own drivers, so they are rich. They
They
don't
are
need to drive.
they are
Yes,
queens, yani,
yes,
queens of the
it's
desert.
wallahi, yes, it's like Queens here. So yes, so it's the issues about women cannot drive. It's silly problems when we say it here.
Yeah,
It's not the problem, even though if it's they are rich, they can drive in any Arabian Gulf cities or other places.
outside
Yes, in
Saudi.
the yes, outside Saudi, and they are travel a lot, so they have their cars. Actually, they don't want to drive in the desert land. They can go out in London, in any places else. Yes, to drive there. They are, and they have money to do it. Okay, some at the middle, they don't have enough money. Okay, but they even don't have. Normally, they must have drivers, even though if they are maybe their parents give them the driver and the car for them to go out and to go shopping, to go to work, anything they want.
To go
So
to Al
it's
Baik.
now go what?
To go to Al Baik. Isn't that the restaurant there, like the chicken place? Al Baik.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
It's like Kentucky, guys.
Yeah.
Yes,
There's a restaurant, guys. It sells a really good chicken, really good fried chicken. It's called Al Baik, and it's
yes.
in Saudi Arabia. I saw a documentary about this. These women, they're wearing like full, very traditional clothing. They go to this restaurant. They sit in the family section, and they have their husbands and their kids, and they're just enjoying. I mean, they're having a blast. These women are living luxurious lives, from what we're hearing here. So,
Yes.
amazing
It's
to
not like yes, it's not like that. We don't have money. We are poor. We can't drive. We can't go. We can't go to restaurants. No, we can't do all that. But in uh, uh, like you said, in luxury way, yes,
Yeah,
yes, it's
luxurious
not.
way. Yeah.
Yes, it's not like that. And I think also I didn't watch the movie, so I don't know if they have something problems like this or not. Maybe the actual just the problem for that. I think when the parents are very poor and the father is sick, okay, and in uh, 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 some way at the night the father are very sick and must go to hospital, and there is no taxis in that portion because it's maybe 4 a.m., 3 a.m. at the night. So this is the problem. If and the government, yes, they are build a lot of ambulance for near of the a lots of neighbors and a lots of inside the cities to help the people for these problems. But sometimes they are so late, so the father or the sick man can't go to the hospitals. And sometimes, yes, we saw a lot of women sometimes driving at the night because that problem. They talk for, it's not usual, it's just for some issues like that. It's very little issues and very events, very rarely events that come in Saudi Arabia, and they accept that. They don't say why you are driving. No, they said okay, okay, go to the hospital, and we are. This is the policeman when they saw her at with the car driving.
Yeah.
They say, okay, go to the hospital and we will go with you. Yes, and they go with her with their cars and follow her at the hospital. And some people around, it's not in the cities back or outside the cities, in the villages, they can drive and no one can tell her why. And they can drive big cars. It's for the desert cars. It's not like
The
Mercedes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's big cars in the desert. They live there, so they can drive, and no one can answer or ask her why you drive.
Hmm. So they're much more free in the desert, in the rural areas. They're much more free.
Yes, because there is no problems outside. But in the cities, no, there will be so problem because we are in traditional habit. In traditions, we can't. This is a problem for us because the people, the men there are not educations also about. Okay, if you saw a man drive, a woman drive, don't be shocked or stop the car or make photos or send videos to guys that I saw a woman
A girl
are
driving. Yeah.
yes. So it's a problem for us because we are not educations about that, and we must have years to convince all the society that women can't drive.
It's interesting, I mean, Jose, what do you think about all of this? I mean, Emmy lives in Saudi Arabia. She is a woman in Saudi Arabia, so she has a very interesting perspective on this. I mean, actually, Jose, I'll ask you two things. I'll ask you first, what's your reaction to the article? And number two, do you think films can inspire societies? Can they change societies?
Well, my impression about the article, well, as I said, it's showing this how this the reality in Saudi Arabia, how there are people amazed because a girl wants to ride a bicycle. What if she wants to drive a car? But as what I heard from Emmy, it's not a big deal watching a woman to drive a car. And well, if a movie can inspire a society, surely it might. And of course, and I think that would be more impressive for this kind of society watching this kind of movie. Maybe in another kind of
Hmm.
society, maybe in US, for example,
It's not a
maybe
big deal.
yes, not a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, depends on the theme that you want to show on your movie.
Hmm.
Maybe another kind of, for example, the 9/11. It's a very
Sensitive.
sensitive sensitive uh, is a sensitive
Topic.
topic for
Sensitive
you.
topic. Uh-huh.
Yeah, sensitive topic for you.
Uh-huh.
And I have not seen many movies, just one movie about the flight that couldn't arrive to the target, and
Hmm.
maybe some documentaries, but I think that nobody dares to make a blockbuster about this topic, for example. So it depends on the topic that you want to show on the movie and to
Yeah.
what society is this directed to.
Hmm. Absolutely. Mark, do you think it's possible for films to change society?
I think so because I think art in general can change society, and so I think, and definitely a move is a very incredible expression because you can picture real life where everybody sees. I think that is amazing because images definitely have power, are powerful. So I think move definitely can change society. Depends on who watch it, but I think yeah, it's possible.
Absolutely. It depends on the audience, right? And if you
Yeah,
if you have powerful imagery, so I really liked how you mentioned images, right? I mean, art in so many forms, right? Not only in terms of video, not only in terms of movies, but in terms of music, even, right? In terms of expression, right?
yeah,
These are all extremely powerful ways to you know they touch humanity, right? They touch the humanity in us as human beings. So they
yeah,
put the human in humanity, I guess,
yeah,
which
absolutely.
it's very
Yeah.
powerful, yeah. One last question for you guys. I know that these, if we look at Saudi Arabia, and we heard from Emmy, people have women and men of any country, of any society, have their own individual, desires and wishes and dreams and all of that, right? I mean, what are the most important things for young women in your society? So from Mark, we can hear from Brazil. From Jose, we can hear from Peru. From Emmy, we can hear from Saudi Arabia. And I just want to see, I mean, do the desires of women everywhere, do they have commonalities? Maybe are they different? I'm interested to hear what that is. So, Mark, why don't we start with you? I mean, a young woman in Brazil, the average young person in Brazil who's a girl, what is her ambition, on average? What do young women there want to achieve?
Yeah, I think here in Brazil, they definitely want get further than men, be better than guys, because women here they're very competitive, and they start that process of you know uh, uh, get further. So I'd say that, for example, here in Brazil, we have much more women in universities than men. So uh, she definitely want to get a great job, want to improve, want to speak another language. They care much more about their education and try than men.
Hmm. And is that because they tend to be more competitive than men, right? Is what you
Yeah,
were saying?
yeah,
It, it's just in their nature, it seems like.
yeah, maybe.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I've heard the same in many other societies. Like I was reading a book about Iran, and Iran is a society also misunderstood by a lot of foreigners. And there are also Iran is also the women are extremely competitive. The women, I think, if you look at the universities, it's like 60% women students, 40% men.
Yeah,
It's not half and half. It's a significant difference.
yeah,
So. Maybe it's the same in Brazil.
yeah. That's definitely.
Yeah. What about you, Jose? What is a young woman in Peru? What is her dreams and ambitions? Are they, you know, is it to get an education? Is it to get married to a good husband, a rich husband? Is it, to be successful? Maybe to help to be a good mother? I mean, there's so many different ways to think about it, right? What about in your experience? What do you know?
Well, I think that fortunately it is changing.
Uh-huh.
Now they want to be a successful professional. They want to get a good job, have a good study, good majors, have a good career. Of course, they want to be married as well, have family, raise children, but they now realize that they should have to have a good education first, or and that doesn't mean that they should avoid the marriage. But now it's a good issue, a good thing that they are changing their mind. Now she wants to study first.
So do women in Peru believe that it's okay to get married, but then also continue to study even as a married woman?
Yes, of course, there are some of them are studying after they are married. Not too many, and there are people as well that other women that they raise their children by their own because the husband or the father abandoned them living as flats, and they have to face the life. And a few years ago, not a few, but maybe 20 or 30 years ago, it was a totally disaster. They were doomed, but now they face the life in another way.
Yeah, I think it's still a social issue in many parts of the world. If the husband or if the father of the children leaves the house and doesn't come back, or for example, just abandons the family, it's a major social taboo still in many parts of the world, right? The single woman, the mother in this case, raising the children by herself. I mean, everybody in society talks very poorly of her. I'm talking about like Indian society, like my society, right? I mean, it's something that is going to it's a very difficult. And India is also in that same position where it's a very patriarchal society. The men are the owners of the women. I mean, it's very difficult to separate them in terms of women should be independent, women should be able to lead their lives. But things are changing, 30, 35, 40 years ago, absolutely, it was a nightmare. I mean, women did not have anywhere near the amount of freedom they have today. So, there are definitely parallels to that. Emmy, let's hear from you. What are aspirations of young women in Jordan and young women in Saudi Arabia? Similar to what we heard from these guys, or are they different?
I think we passed these steps 10 years ago. Yes, we have the same problems 10 years ago. Lots of women want to complete their education, go to college and universities. Yes, they do that now. Lots of women want to get great jobs in private companies and not just education or teaching in the schools. Yes, we passed that now. A lot of women, Saudi women here, are working in private or in bank or in um, private companies. That was unallowed before 10 years.
It was
A lot of
not allowed.
not allowed. Yes, not allowed before that. And also I think they want more independent for that. But now, now the most important thing for the women now in Saudi Arabia is to go out, to go, yes, in any reason. Now because this is King Abdullah said that by the government money, lots of students go out and complete their master degree or something or bachelor degree. Yes, if you ask any Saudi woman now, what is your dream? They wanna go out and travel and go out and complete their education. Not because the education itself. It's because they wanna go out and see the world. Watch. Yes, a lot of Saudi are here now in United States, in Canada, in London, in Britain. Yes, they are now with the scholarship. Is it the name? Scholarship. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a free scholarship from the government.
Wow.
And you can, especially for the women, you can go out with your parent or your husband or your brother, just to receive her in the country and go out, and the father can go back to Saudi Arabia, and she can stay there alone. It's not alone. It's like they are like societies. A lot of friends go and live there together in one apartment or several houses together. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So they want.
Makruh, though. I think that's makruh.
What?
I think that's makruh. It's not haram, but it's makruh.
I don't know about that.
This is Sheikh Farhan giving his fatwa. I'm just joking.
Yes, this is their dreams, unfortunately, now. Here in Saudi Arabia, but because, yes, Farhan, because they have money and they don't know how to spend it, and a lot of them are not get married in so young age, maybe 35.
Oh, wow.
Yes, they still until 35. Sometimes it's the normal age, it's 25. But because they can have their salaries and work, sometimes they don't accept any husband or any proposing for any man if they have their conditions about that.
Yeah. I had no idea that they were so wealthy.
No, they are so wealthy, Farhan. Especially now, the women have money in their own hands. Okay, it's not just like the father have the money or the
The
brother.
husband has the
No,
money or the brother, yeah.
Yes, because she's and working now, and she's strong working woman, Farhan. It's not like a habit. No, she all the week, all the year she's working, and the salaries are high for the Saudis women. So
Compared to
it's
non-Saudis make very little money. Saudis make a lot of money, right?
yes.
Yeah.
And this is their rights, actually. I don't, I say yes, I agree with that. Because, yes, it's,
I agree
and
to a
she
little bit. I agree a
sometimes,
little bit.
yeah, and sometimes Farhan, if she's married and she is 40 years, 40 years old, she can build his own villa with her money now.
Yeah.
It's not like yes, and she can maybe she can buy his her own car
Hmm.
for, but not for driving, for the driver to driving this car.
Yeah, exactly right.
But yeah,
For the guy from Bangladesh to drive the car. Yeah,
yes. Actually,
exactly.
the most of them are from India and Pakistan. Most of
Yeah,
all,
yeah.
yes,
It's sad, the reason I was joking that I agree to a little bit about why Saudis should make more money is because people in my situation, like my parents, for example, they were foreigners. They lived in Saudi Arabia, and my dad saw Saudis with much less education, much less qualification, right? Simply
yes,
because they were Saudi, they made more money. So that is something that I'm not 100% okay with because it should still be based on merit, right? Merit meaning that you deserve, if you have a higher education, if you have more experience, then it shouldn't matter if you are not Saudi. You should still be making um, an honest or a fair amount of money, right? Just because you're from Bangladesh or from, Egypt or from Jordan doesn't mean that you automatically make less money. I mean, like
yes,
my dad had friends who for 15 years they were living in Saudi Arabia, right? Their boss was Saudi, like a young guy, like 30 years old, just like did his masters, came back to Saudi and immediately became like the supervisor,
yes.
supervising, older men who were much more experienced, but these other men were not Saudi, so they did not make as much money. They could not get the good positions in the private companies, you know. I mean, it's not really that fair, I think. In that sense, it's not that fair.
I think Farhan, I think we accept that idea now because they are all education. It's not like before 30 years from now. They all have master's degree now, even if they don't have experience. Yes, they don't have experience like the foreign who came with a long experience. But and even though if you don't some people here are so poor, Saudis, and so poor because they didn't complete their education. So, and the community are increasing now, the people are increasing, and uh, lots of chances to have work are, yes, there are competitions, like you said, lots of competitions are made now in Saudis. And unfortunately, we must understand that the foreign people are not like Saudis, so they will not stay at all the whole uh, age in Saudi Arabia. Maybe because our parents didn't have this plan for there. They was think that I will stay there and collect lots of money to build my own houses or my own company in my country,
Yeah,
but
that's what they
it's
do. That's
so
what all the
fast.
foreigners. Hmm. The main reason foreigners go is they want to make money and then they want to leave. I mean, I think very few non-Saudis come to Saudi with a plan of becoming Saudi or remaining in Saudi, right? So
Yes.
I don't know, maybe,
Yes,
yeah.
but I think it's our parents' fault because they said they was thinking that we are will stay several years and go back to our countries. But a lot of maybe uh, 90, 90 or 19. Yes, 90% of them they didn't go back to their country. They stay. They said no, it's the better than our country, so I will go out. So after that, they have talked about the changes that happened about the foreign people and Saudi people. So I think it's our fault actually. I think now, no, if we get or accept that without any feeling bad about that, because it's their country, Farhan. We didn't came to Saudi Arabia for just for on us. They want us for to take our experience and then to complete, and Saudis will complete the work after that.
Cool.
Yes.
That's really all I can say, right? I mean, I don't know. I find it weird that I was born there, but I can't go back.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, what other country in the world is there that you were born there, but you need a Saudi sponsor to go back to the city that you were born in, right?
Mm,
I mean,
yes.
some things are a little different. Saudi is a very unique place in the world, right? No tourist
Yes.
visa, no, you go for Umrah or Hajj and that's it. Like that's
Yes.
if you want to go outside of Mecca Medina, then you need to have a Saudi sponsor who writes on a piece of paper, this foreigner
Yes.
is my responsibility, right?
Yes.
So,
Actually, yes.
I mean, things
It's
like that I
strange
find
here because okay,
very
because
strange.
this is a Muslim country and Mecca and Medina and a lot of Muslim Farhan, not just because the work they wanna go and stay because Medina, because the Muslim society they are so nice there. So they don't want to go back. They said no. Here's Islam. Here's Mecca, Medina. We can make Hajj every year if we want. Why we go out and far away? And even if the country or our country are we are comfortable with, but because as a Muslims we must stick on the Mecca and Medina. I think
Yeah,
that's for the Muslims. Yeah. But non-Muslims, they don't want to stay in Saudi Arabia, I think.
yeah, they
Just
leave
for a
most of
few
them.
years.
Yeah, yeah, they
Yes,
make money, they go
for
back. Yeah,
yes, for several years, and they go back to their countries.
yeah, sounds right to me. Well, anyway, I mean,
Did you watch the movie?
this
I didn't watch it.
what's Jeddah?
Did
No,
you
I
watch
haven't
the
seen
movie?
it. I haven't
Mm,
seen it. No, I
me
haven't found
either.
it actually. I haven't found it. So I have no idea.
Actually, the director of the movie
Hafiz Mansour.
what yes what's that? It's a
What's Jeddah
strange,
seems like.
yes,
Yeah,
it's a strange name here in Saudi Arabia.
yeah.
I don't know if she's in original Saudi. I don't know. I don't think so. So I
Maybe not.
will find
Honestly, I have no idea.
what?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Maybe she's not. She doesn't. Maybe she's a foreigner.
I don't know also the government what is she said about that movie or
Hmm.
in general
I'm
they
surprised.
will
I'm surprised that they didn't like ban this movie.
yes.
You know.
A lots of Saudi movie are happen lots of
I mean,
complications about that.
there are no theaters in Saudi. They all go to Bahrain,
Yes, they are from
right?
outside. Yes,
Yeah, so there are no public theaters, like no cinemas. I mean, everybody in their homes they have watch every American movie, obviously, but not in not in public, right? In public, it's they don't have theaters. So interesting, very interesting. I mean, I would like to go back. I have not been back. You know, I came here when I was very young, and ever since I came here, I just heard stories and researching how difficult it is to go back. I almost don't want to go back, right? I mean,
Don't go back.
so
You
much
have
paperwork.
American, what? American what?
Nationality or
Yes,
nationality?
nationality
Yeah.
now.
I
They will
mean,
accept you. Don't worry.
no, that's the
Because
thing. I don't like that though. I don't like that honestly
yes,
because it's a
but
double standard.
mm,
It's a
you
double
can if
standard.
you wanna go to make Umrah or Hajj, it's easy from the United States because I have my
Yeah.
sister that live there, yes, and she has also American nationality. Yes.
Nationality.
So yes, if she said that it's an easy way to have permission to get Umrah or Hajj from United States.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
easiest than to get it from Jordan.
yeah. No, I understand, but it's something that I find this country to be just a lot of different rules for different people, right? I mean, if you are from Canada or the US, they treat you differently than you are if you're from Jordan or Egypt or Pakistan or Bangladesh, right? I mean, they it shouldn't be that difficult for somebody. For example, Hajj and Umrah, I understand it's a special case, right? But I mean, tourists can go and enjoy your country. I mean, like when I was in Turkey just 1 month ago, I was in Turkey. I saw so many Saudis. Okay, the country is full of Saudis. All kinds of like Arabs are traveling in Turkey, right? They're wearing their abaya, walking down the street. You know,
Mm.
Turkish women are looking at them like, oh my God, like because these women look so different in a cosmopolitan international city like Istanbul, and these women are walking in their Saudi abaya down the street, right? I mean, it's a very different thing, right? So my question to them is, okay, you why don't you open up your own country? I mean, a lot of the problems that we see with the West misunderstanding Islam and the West misunderstanding Saudi Arabia and just the Middle East in general, why don't you open up? I mean, make it controlled. Make it, you don't make it as difficult as it is now with, a sponsor and all this stuff, but make it so that, yeah, people can visit your country, people can see your society, and that way maybe not that misunderstandings will decrease. Not only that, but your own people, Saudis, will be able to interact with foreigners, right? I mean, you're
Yes.
saying like all these girls are dying to leave Saudi Arabia to go abroad to study, right? I mean, why not just open up a little bit? It doesn't hurt, right? I mean, honestly, I think the best weapon against ignorance is, you know, open open door policy, having an open door policy, like letting people come into your country. Of course, you're going to control who's coming in. You're going to control against
Yes, but
criminals
I think they will do it, Farhan, but it needs time actually.
it's going to take
Because
time.
really, to be honest, it's extremely modern and country. In 20 years old, it's not was like that open. Yes, and a lot of problems happen because the Muslims issues there here are so difficult to understand from outside. We can't accept in Riyadh. We can't accept that foreign women can walk at the street without wearing abaya, even if she doesn't doesn't cover her hair. It's okay. But even if she's American, she must wear abaya. Yes.
Yeah, the whole
So
abaya thing. I don't know if
So
it's.
I think lots of even tourists from outside they will not accept that.
That is true. That is true. I think that is a
Yes.
big reason. I mean, like,
So
yeah,
they have a lots of plans about how to grow up their country. Yes, they are so fast for doing that. To be honest, yes, they are not slowly. No, I think they from 20 years or 20 years until now, they made a lots of uh,
Lots of
really
progress.
yes for their country, but and Farhan, we all the time, if you read an Islamic history about Islamic history, all the time that Arabian Gulf was the last region that the new ideas are arrived in the Mecca and in Jeddah and in Medina. New ideas about Islam, about if something new will happen, how can we do this or do this in Islam? It's the last country or last region that had made changes. Yes,
Absolutely. It's the most resistant location to change.
yes. About
Most
Islam, and
resistant.
this is good actually, because we don't wanna. If we say a lot of changes must happen also in about Islam in Mecca and Medina, I think that Islam will be lost. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, moderation is important, right? But I mean,
Yes.
injecting a new life into a very, you know, boring or a very traditional
Stress.
outlook outlook or situation can also be very beneficial. I mean, when we look at like Islamic history, I mean, you look at like the time of the Abbasids, uh, like Harun al-Rashid. Like I mean, all of like the cities in the Middle East that were booming. I mean, the cultural capitals of their age, right? So like at the time when like Baghdad and all the other cities were the capitals of the world, right? I mean, nothing
Yes.
was happening in the Hijaz. The Hijaz was still the
Yes.
religious kind of
Yes.
backward
They just
area.
yes. It's
Yeah,
like light for scientists and to come and get knowledge about Islam. Yes, it's always what
yeah,
was like this, and we
yeah.
don't want to change it. I think I am afraid, but from my opinion, personal opinion, that if we make it open about Islam and yes, foreign can go, for example, Jeddah for Muslims, for Mecca to see. I think it will be bad for for Islam there. It will be the Muslims will have see a lot of things. So I think I am afraid about my Islam. Just that it's not if any Muslim if in Jeddah or in Riyadh or in Mecca or in Medina he can go now and travel and see the world if this is the problem. But to attract tourists to come in Hijaz, I am afraid of that step actually.
Yeah, it's okay. We don't need to do Hijaz. Hijaz is a unique location. But I mean, the rest of the country, there is so much to see, so much to enjoy. I mean, I personally would not mind going back, right? I mean, seeing the society, exploring some of that culture, right? I mean, it's good. The
Mhm.
Arabs are known for their hospitality, right? So,
Yes,
I mean, you come to an Arab's house and they will treat you like a king, right? I mean,
yes.
it's very common. Everybody knows that. But you know, it seems like that hospitality. There's a disconnect between that hospitality and what we see on the ground. I mean, there are so many rules and so many red lines and red tape. They can't do this, can't do that, can't do that, but can do this. I mean, it's people can just live. Just let people be. Like, if you let people be the way they are, then normally things work out. I mean, I don't know. I have a very liberal philosophy for controlling people, but who knows?
It's
Inshallah.
they can do it, but it's need time actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
It's better. It's better with time than if they rush it, right? If they rush, maybe it's bad.
yes. Thank you,
All right.
Farhan, for this
You're
lovely
welcome.
class. It was I didn't I didn't what's the word expect this. I
Oh,
wasn't
nice.
expect this. Yes, I was thought okay, female film. I was think of one of the American editors that is the first female. So I didn't know about
No.
Saudi. Yes,
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I had no idea that this movie was released either, but it's if I get a chance, I will watch it and just to understand a little bit more. And if maybe it will win. I don't think it will win. Honestly, I don't think it will win the Academy Award
mm,
in
yes,
2014, but it's a good milestone, right? I mean,
yes,
the Saudi women now, the next person, it's not going to be as difficult for her, right?
yes.
So we'll see, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Alrighty.
Thank you,
Take
Farhan.
care. Take care. Absolutely. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll have
Thank you.
another class tomorrow night.
Inshallah.
All right,
Bye.
inshallah. Take care.
Assalamu
Yep. Bye bye.
alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Hey, Jose, how's it going?
Hi, Farhan. How you doing?
Good, good. I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. I think there's actually my headphones should not be. I'm hearing you through my speakers instead of my headphone. Give me one sec. See if I can fix this. I'm on a different computer actually today because I'm traveling. All right, Jose, can you speak one more time?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. Unfortunately, it's still coming through my head through the speaker. Give me one sec. Let me refresh this page, Jose. Give me one sec. I'll be right back. All right, Jose. I think I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me
I
now?
can hear you perfectly now. I can hear you perfectly. Yeah, thank you so much for your patience. I'm so sorry about that. It was just
Ah,
being a
don't
big
worry.
problem here with the thing. So you're telling me, Jose, that you were speaking to a woman about some kind of a business?
Yeah, well, she has a great experience by trading. She's an
Mm-hmm.
exporter and importer, and
Mm-hmm.
she's giving me some advice how
Mm-hmm.
to what can I do and what I shouldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
And well, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna quit my current job, but at least I have a chance, something that I can take a look, and I can figure it out if it works for me or if it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just another chance.
Absolutely. Just another opportunity, right?
Yes.
We are always looking for opportunities, young people, me included. I mean, the job that I'm working in right now has me traveling so much, and there's usually a lot of stress and a lot of, you know, associated um, side effects, if you will, of the job. So, yeah, if good opportunities arise, then we should always go for them.
And you have to travel abroad or just in your country?
Just in the U.S. usually, we do some trips abroad, but I haven't been on a trip abroad yet. So there's been a good mix. I mean, we see both. The U.S. is a big enough country for us to be very busy just within this country. So as you can probably tell, I'm in a hotel room right now. I have lights in the back, and I mean, it's I'm in Michigan. Michigan is um, 1 hour ahead of you guys. So usually we have the same time, Lima and my city, but Michigan is 1 hour ahead. So right now it's 11:08.
So you're about to sleep, maybe?
After this class, I mean, it's okay because my clock is still uh, thinking of my normal schedule time, so it's not that bad. Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We'll wait a little bit longer, Jose, but before we get started, since you're the only one here so far, let me ask you a question. So today's topic, we're going to be looking at the um, possessives, I guess, in English. And one of the things that we can use possessives for is to, describe things that we own, right? So what about right now? Let's say wherever you are now in your room, yeah,
Yeah,
usually
that's
those folks who work maybe for the government or maybe work for the city, like the municipal department, they go and they make sure that children in the U.S., if their parents can't take care of them, uh, they are taken to foster homes, right? A foster home is a house that essentially a family takes kids and they raise the kids, um, and people who help those children, acclimate to a new family. Social workers, they work with divorced families, they work with children of divorced couples, and all sorts of different things like that. So,
yeah. I think that she's doing that. Don't know if it's exactly a social work, but I really don't know very well what she does
that's
in there.
really cool, though. I mean, social work is very respectable. I mean, if that's what she does, that it's something that we need more social workers. People don't want to become social workers in the U.S.
Okay, so if I go to US, I might be a social worker. I might be.
Yeah, you have to have a good personality. You have to like people. You have to be you have to sacrifice a lot. I mean, social workers don't make a lot of money, but they do something that's so vital for society. You know?
Oh yeah. The only problem is that I don't have any patience with children.
Oh,
That
really?
that might be a little a
Yeah,
little
that might be a
problem.
liability on your part. Exactly.
Yeah.
That might not be the best. In any case. Hey, Emmy, how's it going?
Yes. Hello, Farhan. Hello, Jose.
Hello. I mean,
Why your sound is so low, Farhan?
Oh, I think maybe because I'm using a different computer. I'm traveling today, so I'm using different speakers, different computer.
Uh-huh.
Does it sound better now? I'm a little closer to the computer.
Little,
A little bit better.
tiny little.
Yeah, I'm sorry about this. I was for the first maybe like 5 minutes, I wasn't able to hear Jose. I was just switching back and forth. This computer is not my normal computer, so
Uh-huh.
it's kind of
It's
a pain.
okay.
Yeah. If you guys can't hear me though, let me know. I'll refresh or something. Actually, I see what you're saying here. It's so low, right? The actual, even on my register, I'm getting it to be just 2 or 3 and not the full. All right, whatever. I'll try my best to be as close as possible to the screen. Maybe this will make it easier. Okay, guys. So I think we're the only two, or we're the only three that are going to be in the class, at least for the beginning. So let us begin the lesson. If you guys have questions, let me know and we can stop. But today's class, we are mainly talking about possessives, right? So, Emmy, when I first started talking to Jose, I asked him if he could describe a few things that were near him right now. So let's do the same with you. Could you describe a few things? Describe a few things that are near you right now using possessives.
Well, I can use my computer with its mouse, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, don't know what else, and the wall that has a mirror attached at the wall, and don't know what else. My shoes are lying by there. Don't know exactly where. By there. Um,
The shoes are, those are my brother's shoes, for example, right?
okay, yeah, those are my brother's shoes and
Uh-huh.
and my dog's belt. My dog
Dog's leash.
leash. Yeah, my
Yeah.
dog's leash.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay, leash. And what else? And here is something that used to belong to my sister. This is my sister's drawer.
Uh, maybe, are you talking about like the chest of drawers, like the big, it has maybe 4 or 5 drawers?
Yes.
Yeah, so we call that chest of drawers actually.
Okay,
Or you could just say chest, like furniture chest.
okay, my
Yeah.
sister's chest of drawers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but she doesn't live here any longer, so now I'm the owner.
Nice. That's awesome. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
We're 5 siblings. One sister,
Uh-huh.
she lives in US already, and one sister and 4 brothers.
Wow, that's awesome. And
She's yeah,
your
she's
sister's the
American.
oldest?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Is your sister the oldest?
Yes, she's the oldest.
She's the eldest. Okay. That's awesome. And where does she live in the US? I think you told me before, but I forgot.
She's in Florida. It's in Tampa, I think.
Tampa.
Tampa or something by there.
Very cool. Yeah. Tampa's a nice city.
Yes, well, I've never been in US, and well, she's already American, and she works for the police, I think.
That's
She
awesome.
has, yeah, she has to do something with children. She arrests children. Don't know, well,
Oh,
she had to do with
the
probably.
juvenile, probably she works in the juvenile criminal justice system.
No. She's no. I was just kidding. No, she has
Oh,
to
okay.
do with family issues. She has to take care if the children is being in a good environment, if she has a good family, something like that. Has
Social
to,
worker.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah. All right, let's try this. What about now?
Well, I can hear you.
Okay. Yep, I can hear you as well. I just wish it was coming through the speaker. I mean, coming through my headphones, Because I think you can hear yourself too when you speak, right?
And not really.
Oh, okay.
No,
That works then. Um, I was thinking that there would be an echo maybe when you speak, you would hear yourself, but I
no.
guess not. So how's it going, Jose?
Well, I'm doing well, thank you. Um, I'm I'm back in my regular schedule to attend my clinical classes.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Did you
because
have any um did you do anything cool today? Anything interesting?
um, something interesting. No, I think that that doesn't happen in real life. But what can I say? I have been talking with a woman with a huge experience by trading
Mm-hmm.
trading stocks, and she's giving me some advice how to start some kind of business. It's not that I'm going to quit my current job, but at least I have a new idea, something that I might take a look, maybe try to
Mm-hmm.
take a look, and I try to test this if it works for me or
Jose,
if it
give me
doesn't.
one sec. I
Okay.
think there might be a problem with my speakers. All right, sorry about that, Jose. Can you repeat the very last part?
And well, that I was saying that I was talking with a woman that she has a great experience by
Jose, do you hear me?
trading. Yes, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
I'm so sorry about this. One sec.
Here.
All right, let's see. I think I am not able to hear you, unfortunately. Could you speak again, Jose?
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you see the green bar?
Hmm. All right. Um,
Can you hear me
something
now?
is no, I still can't hear you, unfortunately, Jose. There's something wrong with this
Oh my God.
these speakers. Let's see.
Your bell is ringing, I think.
Really sorry about this, Jose. I'm trying to figure out how it's not letting me work. I mean, it's supposed to be working fine. It was just a little while ago.